We outside living proof. Prophesying this place up in smoke like that nigga Snoop. Same crackers had you in slavery telling you get a noose. We got them same crackers coming bowing down, kissing boots, licking dust. Come get with us and you get this truth. Don't ask why I don't go to church. Ask Dylan Roof.
So this is the problem, man, that we got, man. Everybody tries to take our book, man, and they try to put their own spin on it to benefit them, because they know that they got, deep down in their soul, man, they know they got slavery coming, man, and they don't want that to happen, right? So they want to keep us confused as a nation and say God cast away his people, man, right? But God, read this.
This is Romans chapter 11 from the top. I say then, has God cast away his people? God forbid.
God forbid, man. God has not cast away his people, right? Read.
For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
So Paul is also an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, right? So God forbid, God has not cast away his people, man. God has very much kept his people alive, because that's the covenant that he has made with us. He has made that covenant with us to give us the kingdom. Give me Revelation 7. Right.
This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed.
So this is end time prophecy, right? This is the number of them which were sealed. Read.
And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Of who?
Of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
And so that's what we're waiting for, man. We're waiting for that 144 to be sealed, man. Right? Of the children of Israel. So if God casts away his people, what are we waiting for? We're not waiting for that 144,000, right? How you doing, sister? They are. Send her up here. How you doing, sister?
Talk about the Ethiopians.
So why are they saying the Ethiopian Bible is the true whole Bible, and that the Vatican took books out of that Bible, and it's in their vaults right now?
What are you talking about?
He said, what, the Ethiopian Bible?
It's supposed to be the complete Bible, and that the Vatican actually took books out of the Bible and has it in their vaults currently right now.
Well, here's the thing. This show her that Bible. This is a King James 1611 Bible. This isn't a regular Bible that you find in the church. This has 80 books in it.
Yeah.
Ethiopian Bible has what, like 84 books? But here's the difference. Pull up the what's in the Ethiopian Bible real quick. Get on that side. Because here's the thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Vatican has stuff hidden in there, but it's not a problem. Like, there's nothing missing that we don't necessarily don't already have. You know what I mean? Because the history that they took out is in the 1611 Bible we just showed you, between the Old and New Testament, if you want to call it that. You know what I mean? About the history of the Jews. Give me that.
So this is the Orthodox Tewahedo biblical canon. The Orthodox Tewahedo biblical canon is a version of the Christian Bible used in two Oriental Orthodox churches of the Ethiopian and the Eritrean traditions. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, the Eritrean Orthodox Tewahedo Church, at 81 books.
Yeah, 81 books. So they probably got what, Enoch in there?
Yeah.
Jubilees, Jasher. Those are like the three books that we don't accept, because this is how you know the Bible is the translation that we have is true, because we have the manuscripts for it.
Yeah.
It was a translation from Hebrew, Greek, and some Aramaic, and it was translated into English in today. There's no manuscript to Jasher, Jubilees, and Enoch. So the book you have today can't be real. Like, where'd it come from? Like, they try to say, oh, it was in the Dead Sea Scrolls, but pull up the Dead Sea Scrolls right now. We're gonna pull it up for you, see what they found. They found fragments, but there's nothing that they can build a book off of, you know what I mean? Especially a 100-chapter book. Like, it doesn't make sense. And it contradicts the Bible, which is another red flag. Even if we were to take it, like, okay, let's just read this and see what it says.
Why do you say that the Bible, that they're going to destroy the Ethiopians for what?
What's that?
Why do you say it's going to destroy the Ethiopians for what?
Oh, in this Bible?
Yeah.
Oh, we can get to that in a second.
So this is the This is the only manuscripts that they found from Enoch. Like, this is it.
Yeah, just one page.
And in the book of Enoch that we got today is 105 chapters. Did you get 105 chapters from that?
No.
So where did the other ones come from?
It doesn't add up because if we have the manuscripts for everything else, you know what I mean? And then you go to Enoch and okay, let me just try to research the original quote unquote Hebrew. Like it's not even in Greek. That's a Hebrew scroll, right?
Yeah.
It's a Hebrew scroll because supposedly, we did translate most of the Hebrew into Greek.
I thought it went from Aramaic to Hebrew and then to Greek.
No, Hebrew is before Aramaic. Aramaic is a sister language, but it's after Hebrew. You know what I mean? Because when you we spoke Hebrew in the ancient world, but when we got to the Babylonian captivity, that's when we started writing in Aramaic. Like Daniel's written in Aramaic, and I think Esther. Those two books are written in Aramaic, I believe. Even though we know they were Jews. Yeah, Daniel was for sure written in Aramaic. But you asked about why Ethiopians have to be destroyed or have to be judged. Give me what we just read. What we just read, Tazak? What was that you just gave? Yeah, Isaiah 45. And then give me Zephaniah 2 and 12. Go ahead.
Isaiah 45 and 14. Thus says the Lord, the Lord, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabians, men of stature, shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine.
They're going to be ours. They're going to be slaves to us, read.
They shall come after thee in chains.
They're going to be in chains. Go ahead.
They shall come over, and they shall fall down to unto thee, and they shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely God is in thee, and there is none else. There is no God.
Yeah, so they're going to be in slavery. But give me that. That's not what we read earlier. You read something different.
I read it different.
Oh, different. Oh, that's what I want the translation you added in.
G&T.
Okay, I got the.
Yeah, give me that in a different translation. And then give me this real quick.
This is Zephaniah 2 and 12 in the G&T. The Lord will also put the people of Ethiopia to death. Keep going.
Keep going.
Verse 13. And he will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria, and will make Nineveh a desolation and dry like a wilderness. And flocks shall lie down in the midst of her. All the beasts of the nations, both the cormorant and the bittern, shall lodge in the upper lintels of it. Their voice shall sing in the windows. Desolation shall be in the thresholds, for he shall uncover the cedar work. This is the rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly, that said in her heart, I am, and there is none beside me. How will she become a desolation? A place for beasts to lie down in. Everyone that passeth by her shall hiss and wag his hand.
Yeah, it's talking about the Assyrians because they all had us in captivity. That's pretty much what happens. They put us in slavery in the ancient world. They got to get a get back. It's even. Make it even. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Isaiah 45:14 in the G&T. The Lord says to Israel, the wealth of Egypt and Cush, or Ethiopia, right, will be yours. And the tall men of Seba will be your slaves. They will follow you in chains, and they will bow down to you and confess. God is with you. He alone is God. The God of Israel, who saves his people, is a God who conceals himself. Those who make idols will all be ashamed. All of them will be disgraced.
Yeah, so it's basically just recompense for what they did to us. That's pretty much how it. Give me that in Jeremiah 30, as a matter of fact. Is that an issue with you?
What? Well, I just was curious. He mentioned, the other gentleman mentioned that I said the Ethiopian Bible. I heard that was the complete Bible, and that it was manipulated by the Vatican, and also King James too. I thought King James was supposed to be a king, but he was a homosexual.
No, that's slander. They slandered him. Give me my book.
As a matter of fact, I
Go
know
my
a
bad.
little bit about that too. That them saying that did you know that only came 50 years after his death? You know that, right? Those whispers that he was a homosexual and everything. it was by his enemies. Especially, I forget his name, bro. He had a main enemy, right? Because he kicked him out of his council, right? He totally kicked him off his council. And then those whispers of him being a homosexual came 50 years after the man's death. This man had children. He had like 8 kids or something.
Okay.
Does that sound like a homosexual? No. He wrote a book for his children on how to be kings. He says that he had to punish homosexuals. He can't be a homosexual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they were jealous of him because he was black. Let me read that real quick. Give me start at
King James?
yeah, I'm about to read it right here. This is from Lee Cummings, The Negro Question Part 4, The Missing Link, because there was a black nobility in Europe. Have you heard about that?
Yeah. They have paintings of them everywhere.
What's that?
They have paintings of them everywhere.
Exactly. So King James was one of those patriarchs at that time.
Okay.
And they think, oh, well, he was white. Oh, no, he wasn't white. He was black. There's a picture of him right here. That is King James right there. That's him. But let's read, where do I want you to start? Is this the same book? Let me see. Salah. Oh, yeah, here. Right here. Go ahead.
Okay.
What's your name, sister?
Nina.
Ina?
Nina.
Lena?
Nina.
Oh, Nina, my bad. Go ahead.
So this is the image location of New College Library in Edinburgh, UK.
Okay.
I know that this image of a black King James,
A what?
a black King James,
Image of a black King James, read.
can be a little confusing because of your Western education. But this is the truth that is known by the rich and the elite in the world. That was the reason I paraded all of the English historians and professors before you, before I got into the before I got into the bowels of this book. I had to get your mind ready to receive the truth. King James came from a long line of black Scottish Stuart kings.
Black Scottish Stuart kings. The word Stuart is a reference to a black man. You know what I mean? So if somebody has the last name Stuart, at that particular time, he was black. You know what I mean? Read.
343 years of rulership in Scotland. The Stuarts not only ruled in Scotland, they ruled France, Spain, Ireland, England, Britain, Wales. King James was able to rule all these lands because of all these people were of Iberian black descent. They were the same people. If you look at the ball in his hands, it represents the rulership. That there was only one other group of world leaders who used this type of symbolism, and they were the Byzantine Roman emperors.
Yeah, which is when Constantine ruled, who was another black man. The Byzantine Empire in Rome. But the moral of the story is there were multiple black rulers at that time in Europe before the white man took over. You know what I mean? So that's another reason why they slandered his name after the fact. They said he was homosexual because, like I said, you gotta watch. What's his name? Daniela goes into that, the history of King James and why they hated him so much. But like I said, that's one of the reasons because he was black. The second reason why, because he was a king. Like, of course they're gonna hate on him. But as far as the rhetoric about the Ethiopian Bible being the only true Bible, like, first of all, some Ethiopian came to us trying to tell us that. But we read that it was compiled in the 15th century. So how does that work? You know what I mean? Even though it does say the very first earliest that we read is in the 6th century, 600 AD. But the Bible was written long before that.
Oh, I got it.
And the manuscripts that we have were written in Hebrew. The Ethiopians don't read or speak Hebrew, right or wrong, or Greek. So where'd they get it from? Where'd they get their Bible from?
I don't know.
That's the type of question.
Yeah.
Those are the questions you have to be knowledgeable to answer to the people. This might present that to you. The Ethiopians don't speak Hebrew. They don't speak Greek. But the Israelites spoke Hebrew, and they got conquered by the Greeks in the ancient world, so they were forced to speak Greek. And that's who translated the Bible into the Greek Septuagint. You're familiar with that, right?
Yeah.
Or at least that document. What you got?
Okay, so I found the name of his enemy that started those whispers. His name was Anthony Weldon, right? He was an enemy of King James. One such man Anthony Weldon had to be excluded from court. He excluded him from court. He kicked him off his court. Weldon swore vengeance. It was not until 1650, 25 years after the death of King James, that Weldon saw his chance. He wrote a paper calling James a homosexual. Obviously, James being dead, there was no condition to defend himself. So Anthony Weldon was a sworn enemy of him, and this is what, like, I thought it was 50 years. It's 25 years after his death that he started these whispers, you know what I'm saying?
Of course, exactly.
But-
He wasn't in power anymore either.
And like I said, he wrote a book on how to be a king for his sons. Because he had like 8 sons or 6 sons. That's not a homosexual with 6, 8 sons. He was pumping them kids out. You know what I'm saying? So he wrote a book for his children on how to be kings, and he told them that he has to punish all buggery, which is homosexuality, how to deal justice against witches and all that. So he despised homosexuality.
That's right. That's the history system. So, like I said, when people want to bring up the Ethiopian Bible and the Vatican, and I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure they have things there. And I think they put out like an Amazon Prime video about that. About what that stuff. They took a little tour down the Vatican halls. Because it's supposed to be like, what, 5-6 miles worth of artifacts that they have that's never been seen before. But somehow they have a documentary about it. I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen the video. Or at least the title and things like that. I might watch it tonight, actually, now that I mention it. But there's nothing down there that's necessary for our salvation. Because we have everything that we need. Give me Revelation 12. What's that?
What has me curious is that they have had the manuscripts of the Ethiopian Bible hidden in their mountains this whole time.
But they have an Ethiopian Bible right now. We can look up.
But they had it hidden for a while so they could go
Who
ahead.
had it hidden?
The Ethiopians.
I mean, what'd they hide it for?
Because they were afraid it was going to get destroyed.
The Ethiopians?
Yeah.
Just because they had copies of the Bible
They
that
already
translated?
have been destroyed before. They have books that have never been seen by our eyes. Not from those books are in the Vatican right now. The whole entire.
But I don't believe that though.
Well,
Because those aren't Israelites. Those aren't Jews up there. Why would they have something that the Jews don't have? When we were actually rewriting all our copies over the course of 1,000, 2,000 years, even 3,000, even 1,000 years after Christ.
Well, I thought the assumption was that they were related through Solomon and Sheba.
Listen, they always say that. They can't prove it. How do they prove that?
They did genealogy.
What genealogy? From who? From where? Who? Haile Selassie?
Some of the original Hebrews.
But Ethiopians aren't Hebrews.
They're not even related remotely.
No. They're Hamites. Hebrews come from Shem. Hamites are most of the quote-unquote African countries. Shemites aren't necessarily non-African, but they're not related to Hamites.
Yeah.
You're familiar with that at least, right?
Uh-huh.
So the Cushites aren't Hebrews at all. They have a Hebrew dialect and language, but they don't have no authority over the Bible.
Let me ask you a question. Is what they say true about what's happening in Gaza right now and the direct relation to how they're being punished because of what happened with us?
I mean, those aren't the real Palestinians over there either, but it's not a good thing that they're being killed at that rate. It's like, what, 25,000 people dead in a month and a half, 2 months? I'm not necessarily saying that's a good thing, but that's clearing the way for us to get back there, what I believe. Give me, what was he holding? 12 and like 16?
Yeah.
And then give me,
Because they're definitely not descendants of the Philistines. Those are actually Arabs, right? And those people that are claiming to be Jews today aren't Jews, right?
Not at all. They won't even have genealogy tests. It's banned in Israel because
Yeah, it's
they don't
banned.
prove that they're really Polish and Russian
exactly.
and Eastern
they
European.
just changed their last name.
And also, every time that they find, like in archaeology, when they find a body, you know what they do? It's Israeli state law that they come and get the body and bury it as a Jew. But it could be a Roman, it could be a Syrian. We don't know who it can be. But they find they automatically, like in archaeological digs, they find the body. They have to notify the Israeli government. They come take the body and bury it as a Jew because they don't want to test it, right?
That's what happened Remember after the article, right before October 7th, when they supposedly they did do it when they bombed Israel. Gaza bombed Israel, or Hamas bombed Israel. Guess what they came out with? Let me see if I can find it. You know what I'm going with? They basically tested. They did the first DNA test on some bones in Israel.
Oh, no,
And they didn't test it.
No, they were going to.
No, they said we were going to release the information. They had already did it. Look up the article. 'Cause I just seen an article right after that happened, and basically the excuse was we tested these bones finally to see who basically if they're Israelites or not. But then October 7th happened. Now we can't get the presentation. It's just, oh my God, it's all of a sudden happened. Now we can't even present the information no more. And now it's just an ongoing conflict for the last 3 months. You know what? Find that for me. Man, I think I sent it in the chat. Look it up in the chat. But that's basically, we're going to prove that they actually did the first test, even though they probably did tests before.
Yeah.
But some bones that they found, they did some bones that they found in Israel. And they said they're going to present the information. Where are you at? Yeah, give me this.
This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 16. And the earth helped the woman.
The earth helped the woman. So the earth, this is a long chapter. I want to get to the point. The woman is representative of Israel. And the earth is talking about the ground. What's in the ground? Archaeological finds, right?
Yeah.
Scrolls, bones, pottery, things like that.
Yeah.
So there's more Hebrew artifacts over here in the Americas than over there in Israel. Why? Because the Israelites were scattered, and the Israelites came over here, and quiet as kept, these brothers are Israelites. Hispanics, Native Americans. You know what I mean? And along with yourself, where are you from, actually?
Here.
Ethnicity-wise?
Mostly, I guess, African. Some native, of course.
What's your father?
My father is black with some native and Mexican blood.
You said Mexican blood? What's your grandfather?
Black with some Native American blood.
What tribe, though, if he's Native American?
I don't know.
But you would claim black more than anything, right?
Yeah.
And your father? So, yeah. We know. Man, I found a source
Okay,
so cold.
can I
Give me,
ask-
go in
can
my
I ask you
bag.
a question? The guys running around here talking about their Moorish, and they have Moorish
Oh my
identification and all that stuff. They
What is
said
that gonna do for
I
you?
don't know. But they
Nothing.
said that Moors were here way before all the other stuff. And then half of them, some of them get arrested by police, and police let them go. I'm like, so what's that mean?
I mean, sure. I've seen videos.
I found this article right here. So this is the first archaeological extract DNA of ancient Israelites. A rare first temple period family burial opens the door to genetic studies on the true origin of the ancient Israelites and their links to modern Jewish populations. For the first time, ancient DNA has been recovered from bodies of ancient Israelites living in the first temple period, Haaretz has learned. This achievement, a holy grail in study of lost civilizations, was enabled following the discovery near Jerusalem of a rare family tomb dating from the Iron Age. So far, the collaboration of archaeologists and geneticists have been able to extract genetic material from two individuals, producing partial information, which is a tiny sample indeed, but it promises to pave the way for further research on long-standing questions about the origins of the ancient Israelites, their links to the earlier populations living in the Levant, as well as the modern-day Jewish people. Preliminary results from the excavation and the DNA study were expected to be presented at a conference about new archaeological discoveries in Jerusalem and its environs on Wednesday. And Haaretz has obtained an advanced copy of the researchers' papers. The conference has since been delayed due to the ongoing conflict between Israel and Gaza.
Wow.
Don't bring it out.
They don't want to bring it out, man.
I think that was well, I ain't gonna say it's an excuse because it's kind of weird timing.
Yeah.
They probably been sitting on that. I ain't gonna lie. They probably been sitting on this. And then they just said it. Oh, well now we can't do it because we gotta be in safety and being,
Oh yeah.
in their bunkers.
They've been sitting on it. This story begins in 2018.
Damn.
5 years ago. Well, it depends on when. At least 5 years ago, they didn't have this information.
Wow.
But all of a sudden, we was gonna do it, but no, you had this in 2018.
And they haven't done anything.
Why would they let it out? Because they know for a fact those aren't the people.
How's this
They even say it themselves.
How is this going to work?
What you mean?
How are all these tribes supposed to go back to Israel when they're going to be like, oh, bullshit, you guys ain't from here?
We're not going back right now. Why would we go back now? Like I said, all that's going on right now is setting up for us to go back. That's what I said earlier, right? Those people are going to be destroyed out of that land. That's what's going to happen. Especially for their wickedness. Those are the most wicked people on the planet. You don't believe that?
What
The Jewish people. The fake Jews. Those aren't the real Jews. They're
No,
Jews.
I know. That's one of the reasons why Hitler went ahead and did what he did, because he had previous information, and he said, these ain't the Hebrews.
Well, I don't think that was his motive, but
Partially
he
was.
knew they had too much power.
He used it as an excuse.
No. That wasn't an excuse. He did it because they had too much power in Germany.
Yeah.
And they were taxing people to hell. And we bring this out every week. Well, not every week, but somebody brings up Hitler. And he can describe more on the economic side. But basically what was going on, they had all type of homosexual brothels, and LGBTQ, all that type of madness was going on. And the taxes were, like, that's how they got so rich. They went around everywhere taxing people to death.
The usury.
Exactly. But it's only usury rich from people. So technically they can do it to other nations, but
They didn't get to each other, though.
that's what I'm saying. That's the law of God. We're not supposed to do it amongst each other. But that's what I'm saying. That's what Hitler got rid of. Like, you can't tax nobody no more. And you can't have these businesses of all these homosexual debauchery clubs and all that type of stuff. And that's what he accomplished. And then obviously, there's a video, man. It's a cold video that Sergeant Yatab did.
I
What?
heard that he didn't like him in his research studying, because you know what people tend to do when they think they have an enemy is learn their history. He kind of found out that they weren't from Israel after
I mean,
all.
I'm pretty sure maybe he had that inkling, but
What he
the quote that people want to point to isn't a real quote. Actually, that's not an authentic quote. Oh, he knew that the Jews were black. Like, no, that's not a real quote from him.
No, he knew that they're Khazarians.
I mean, I haven't read that either, but I'm not saying it's not true. I just haven't read that source.
Yeah.
But the point is, he actually, it was a foreshadowing pretty much. And then, like I said, this is the main reason why he went to war with him. During World War I, the Jewish people went to Hitler and was like, hey, can you promise us Palestine? Hitler's like, wait, like, no, I can't do that. So what did Jewish people do? They went to the Americans, hey, America. Because America wasn't in World War I until the last year, right? You familiar with the history? And then what happened? They bombed Pearl Harbor, and then they went to war with the Japanese in World War I.
Did Japanese really bomb Pearl Harbor? Right about now, I don't believe anything.
I mean, that's not according to Jesse Ventura. You know?
What did he say?
He said it was a hoax. It was an inside job.
9/11 was.
Of course it was.
Mossad agents were already there filming the whole thing while it was happening.
You familiar.
Yeah.
You smart. You a sharp girl. It's not that hard to see. So America forced their way into the war because they had no place in the war. And the war was almost over.
I used to deal with those automatics with AV cars. What's to say that they didn't remote control plane? Because the pilot that's supposed to have crashed into the Pentagon failed his pilot license. You have to be an expert to drive that plane.
Exactly.
How he drove.
And then they said there was no black box. Like, where? Like, how? The black box is indestructible. But yet they didn't have it.
Yeah.
But anyways.
They weren't trying to find it.
Sure.
They hid that.
There's footage of them saying they found it and they like shoot it away.
Hey, it hit that trillions of dollars they gave to Israel already.
What's that?
Hit them trillions of dollars and it's missing.
Oh yeah, right. The day before they reported it, then all of a sudden 9/11 happened and everybody's forgetting.
And then that third building got blown up. What was that about?
Building 7. Yeah, they do it because that's where all the paperwork was.
Oh, okay.
So, but as far as like I said, the World War I aspect, what I was saying was, World War I. That's when Hitler found out before World War II that the Jewish people were basically betraying him. You know what I mean? Because there's a video that Sergeant Yatab did on that, and he basically was like, Hitler found out that the Jewish people betrayed him after World War I, because that's who started fighting against him, right? The Americans and France. But then again, wait a minute. They're supposed to be, what's it, Axis or Allies or Axis? One of them two. They're supposed to be cool with the Jewish people because they were living there. He allowed them in there. But guess what? After that, the Americans started fighting against Germany. And he was like, wait a minute, like, what's going on? That's when he found out. That's why he started killing them. That's the main reason why he started killing them. Not because they were Jewish or they Khazarian, because they betrayed him in World War I. And that's what brought him into World War II. You know what I mean? Why keep saying World War I? We had World War II, but
Why he killed so many of the gypsies?
those is our people, actually. I believe those gypsies at that time were our people. They killed a lot more people than that. They killed a lot of Polish people, Romans, Russians. Excuse me. Like if you look at the numbers, they said there's 6 million Jews, 6 million Polish people, about 60,000 like black Germans.
Yeah, I heard about
And-
that. And also the people who were special needs. All of them were gone.
I don't know about. I didn't hear about
No.
that. That's great.
I heard about that because they were trying to make
A perfect
this
race.
a perfect race, exactly. And they had an obsession with twins too, like twins.
Yeah.
They were
doing
running
experiments
they were running hella experiments on people, bro.
That's crazy.
Like they had a weird obsession with twins. You know what I'm saying? So they'll bring them as case studies, and they were doing some.
Gnarly shit.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. Like splicing it. You know?
Yeah.
But nah, yeah, they were ahead of their time. And in one of the videos that I saw, they were basically saying like they were like the first people ever with nerve gas. And it was like if Hitler was really like, if he really wanted to take over, he could have literally like sent all the nerve gas out and crippled everybody.
And they were the first to have jet engines. They were this close of actually releasing and mass producing jets. They only had like 3 of them. Dude, they were. It would have been over. It would have been over. They would have won the war, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they said they had like what 30,000, like I don't know, some large number of tear gas, like in the basement somewhere, like just ready to go. And it was like they discovered it after he was dead. Like, man, if they would have released this, it'd have been over for us. But they didn't have no answer for it. So they did have. They tried to say, oh, they found some stuff in Antarctica from alien technology. That's why they got so advanced. No.
What?
Some people say that. Some people say that. But we don't agree with that. But anyways, they had the technology. Or they had the technology. They stole. America literally stole their scientists from Germany, brought them to America.
They call it alien, you mean like the Nephilim stuff, and maybe.
Huh? No. We don't. No. You believe in that?
It's a possibility.
You believe the Nephilim were fallen angels?
I do.
You believe in fallen
They
angels?
found bones. They found
Angels
bones.
have bones?
No, they found the bones of the Nephilim. They're supposed to be the children of the fallen angels.
Giants.
Yeah. They found
How
it.
big were the Nephilim that you saw?
The skull was pretty big. The skull was like half the size of your body.
No
Yeah,
other
that was
bones?
the skull. Yeah, there's a couple bones too, but the skull was.
How
larger
many
than
though?
that.
Like just one or?
It was like a rib cage, like a femur.
Where at?
Where is that? I gotta look that up again. Let's get my phone back. I'm trying to
We don't agree with that, but I just want to know. Guys want to see because first of all, there's no such thing as fallen angels. Like
But
that's
isn't that
ridiculous.
in the King James Bible too that they had?
Huh?
It didn't mention in King James Bible that they had
Fallen
giants?
angels?
Giants.
Of course, but are giants? What chapter? You talking about Genesis 6?
I presume.
Yeah, you're talking about Genesis 6, right? And that was before the flood, so everybody died in the flood, right?
Yeah.
That means there's
Did
no
they
way
get-
they could exist.
Didn't it get buried? Like underneath?
But that was what, thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
How long do bones last?
I don't know.
Bones disintegrate within 100 years
Then
without being preserved,
what are those
unless they're not
What are
preserved.
those dinosaur things they've been digging up then?
Those are all fake. Those are all fake. Ain't no such thing as dinosaurs. Ever.
None at all.
Zero. That is ridiculous. That defeats God.
Then where does fossil fuel come from? That's what they came
Fossil
from.
fuel is just a title. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a name.
Fossil fuel, it's just basically all organic matter. It could be actual fauna. It could be animals. Like, it all comes from, yes, there is fossil fuel. They're all like ancient organic that matters.
Organic matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with fossils coming from dinosaurs. That's, first of all, this is how you know it doesn't make sense. How did they say the Earth was destroyed during the dinosaur period? A meteor, right? Or the
Yeah, they did.
or the Ice Age. They froze to death.
I just presumed it was a flood.
But do you believe in the meteor hitting the dinosaurs? Wait a minute, how old do you think the Earth is? If you believe in dinosaurs lived millions of years ago, right?
And that's where the confusion comes in.
If you believe in God or you believe in that
I only
nonsense.
believe in God.
So here's the thing.
That's why I'm thinking it's only like a couple of thousand years old and not million. technology-wise in this short span of time. So
Right.
billions and billions, we would already having space travel and
That's right. But here's the thing. Let's just say the Earth was millions of years old. They say the dinosaurs were destroyed by a meteor, right? So then there was an ice age. When did the ice age happen? But this all happened before humans,
I think
technically.
we would have been all dead.
Exactly. And there's only one creation. God's not creating over again, so that can't be real. You know what I mean? And like I said, bones, like if there's a bone that's preserved in like what's the element like amber or like they find fossils in like volcano ash and things like that.
Yeah.
But that's not even that long ago. You know what I mean? So a bone that was 1 million years old getting trapped in amber, I mean, sure, that can be something, but we don't like. There's no evidence to that. Zero. How come the dinosaurs weren't eating up all the people?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Like, are you serious? So we're just taking pieces of dinosaurs, know exactly what they sound like, know exactly what they look like.
Yeah.
Let's be real here.
But what are they then? They just
They made them up.
Made them up.
They made it up to go against the God's timeline. Because, like he said, the Earth, in our estimation, the Earth is less than 12,000 years old. That's it. Because what's the oldest tree on Earth? Dendrochronology. What's the oldest tree they found on Earth right now? 5,000 years old.
I thought it was like 4.
It's right under 5,000.
Where's it located?
I think it's it might be in California, but you can look it up. It's like right under 5,000 years old.
They have some formations that look like they used to be trees. They said it used to be gigantic trees, but they were cut down.
They'd have to prove it. Why aren't they just falling apart? Because there's no roots. It's not growing. How come it's not growing? But here's the thing. Trees. Oh, so you're saying they cut it down? It's not growing anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, hey. So that's a giant tree. Okay. But there's evidence that things were bigger before the flood.
Yeah.
But that big.
Yeah.
Who's that for? Like, no. This doesn't make any sense. Where you at? Go ahead.
The Great Basin bristlecone pine has been deemed the oldest tree in existence, reaching an age of over 5,000 years old.
Yeah, it's right, just over 5,000 years old. So that lines up with the timeline of the flood.
Yeah.
If we're saying the flood,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, we're saying the flood, or there was what, quote unquote, 6,000 years of creation. God rested 1,000 years. So that whole 1,000 years, people are growing and that was before Pangea, if you want to call it that, splitting of the earth. That's in the Bible too, but that's the term that people recognize.
Do we not have what was he saying? We don't have, so being that it's that long ago, we don't even have things like any evidence of the ark at all, do we?
Of course we have evidence of the ark. Yeah, they found the ark in Turkey.
Okay, I heard
They
it was
found
a-
metal
Mount Ararat. They found like big boulders for like anchors. They found like man, there's a video on it. You can look it up. They found a whole bunch of evidence on the ark for sure.
Metal rivets.
Yeah.
He found like metal rivets, like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he had steel. Like he built like out of steel and wood. Like it's basically. You look up the picture real
It's
quick.
petrified now.
Where
It's
do
like
they
a
have-
rock
where do
now.
they have it at then?
What's that?
It's
Where
part
where
of,
the pieces of
it's,
it at?
no, it's part of the. It's part of the mountain now. It petrified.
Oh.
Yeah, if you can look it up right now. I forgot the video that we saw, but there was a I don't know if this is like the early '90s or early 2000s. Oh, there's white people. You know, these white people. They videoed it though, and they literally showed everything, and then they had like the what's it called? How you like edited, like post editing. They put like the graphics on it. Yeah, go ahead.
It's right here.
Yeah, Mount Ararat,
Mount
Turkey.
Ararat.
Wow.
Yeah, I wish we could show the video.
Yeah,
I think I have pictures somewhere, but it's somewhere in my phone. But long story short, they found evidence of the ark, like clear. There's way more evidence too. Like they found the split rock at Mount Horeb. They found like how they say when the Israelites were fleeing the Pharaoh, and the fire came down and stopped them from getting through to them before the sea split. They found burnt sand. Like how does
Still
sand burn?
burnt to this day?
What's that?
It's still burnt to this day?
Yeah, right now. right now.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, Sodom and Gomorrah, the 98% sulfur. Like there's nowhere on earth besides that.
The pure sulfur on earth.
Where's that location?
That's by the Dead Sea. By the Dead Sea.
Over there by Israel.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's too much evidence about the proof of the Bible. So people that say the Bible's not real and there's no history of the Jews, I was on TikTok yesterday talking to some foolish people. A lot of women on there, unfortunately, but foolish stuff. I'm listening to them like, you don't know nothing.
The Moorish doctrine is.
Oh, you did say something about the Moors.
Yeah, that's what. Because I didn't know
Let's
anything
debunk
about
that real quick.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that.
That's-
So somebody was talking about, yeah, see, I have my paperwork.
No, see, and what they do, they do what's called indigenous erasure. We're against indigenous erasure pseudo information, man, because they're saying that the original indigenous are black people, and the slave trade never happened. That is crazy.
I just looked this up yesterday.
That is crazy, man. And that doctrine is picking up, and that doctrine is like picking up right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously that's East Africa. But watch how he goes across the
sorry.
map.
I'm
That's
sorry.
all good.
No, you can
It's fine, it's fine.
Don't worry about it, sis. You can step on it.
Yahwism. Then he's gonna go over here. He's gonna go. Where is it at? Yeah, Lawani Jews. This is all in Africa. And then they renamed everything afterwards. Mayumbar Jews. It's all West Africa. Then he goes up. San Tome Jews. What's that? St. Thomas. This is all the slave coast. That's how they know to get the Jews from.
Okay.
It's all there. Why would they make this map if the Jews weren't from over there? And they say, oh, the African Americans aren't Jews, but they proved that the Igbo, 60% of the slave trade were the Igbo, and they come, DNA proves that they were Jews.
There was a Nigerian guy who's Igbo who went to a dentist office, and the guy, the dentist there was Jewish, and he said, he asked what his name was. His name was Ephraim. And he said, you know, you're Jewish, right? And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm from
The
East
Jewish
tribe."
man sold that to the,
So he was like, how do you know that? He said, ask your mother. And he asked his mom. She's like, yeah, we were Jews. We were Jews.
Well, Ephraim isn't Jews, honestly, but he might be Northern Kingdom, possibly.
His name was Ephraim. That's what his name was.
Yeah, Ephraim is a Northern Kingdom tribe, though, so
Yeah.
the Northern Kingdom aren't Jews, even though I understand what he means. Like, he's an Israelite. He's from Israel, which I agree with, you know what I mean? But, oh yeah, the Moorish stuff. Here's the thing.
Well, from what I understand from what you're telling me, is that the Moors were already here. They've been mingling with the indigenous population this whole time. They didn't come here to conquer. They just came here to be over here. And then they also started going ahead and importing slaves here to say that everybody was a slave. But everybody wasn't slaves. There already were people over here who were black who weren't slaves at all. But when they started importing slaves, they started enslaving the Moors who were already here too. There was a whole propaganda to go ahead and take over.
No. You mean the Lewis and
Not
Clark
even a possibility?
exhibit? Absolutely not.
Because they said
What proof? What were they doing over here?
I'm not sure.
Did they have a civilization? Did they have a town? Or
Well, some of the Mexican people said the Olmecs were
no,
black.
the Olmecs were not. Those were Canaanites. And the Moors, I mean, the Moors say they're Canaanites, and they say they're Moabites and all that madness.
Yeah.
But no, they're not. Like they're just like us. They're Jews that think they're Moors. Like that's and Moor just means black.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're an amalgamation of people.
Yeah,
They're
like that's not even one people. Like Moors were Muslims. There's Muslims that were Christian, or Moors that were Christian. There was Moors that was Jews.
Yeah.
It was just a term for another black person.
or colored person.
Yeah, or colored person. It has nothing to do with
They
nationality.
can be Arab. They
Yeah.
can be part
Is
Arab,
that where they got
and
it
they're
mixed- is that where
more.
they got it mixed
Like,
up at?
I mean, they hate the word black in general, but if you say I'm a Moor, okay, what does Moor mean? They'll clam up like, well, I don't want to say because they know what it means. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
But they say they're from Morocco too. Like, so which one is it? You heard that before?
Yeah.
They say they're from Morocco.
Yeah.
So if you're from
They
America,
claim that the Americas were under the protectorate of Morocco, and
no,
that's
of course it's not. Morocco is not anywhere in Congress. They try to pull the paperwork. Where?
I don't know. That's what I'm curious.
Huh?
You know what I mean, it's better to know what you're up against when you're talking to people.
Listen, we've talked to a Moor up here. He got embarrassed.
Annihilated.
He got embarrassed.
Annihilated.
Wait,
Trust me.
Did he fill out his paperwork?
Of course he didn't. He tried to act like he was a big he tried to act like he was a big dog, and he said it was a Mason too. Like, I mean, that's irrelevant
I
to me.
thought, yeah, I thought that wasn't a good thing.
I mean, whatever. Like, you can say you're a Mason all you
But
want.
I mean, I swear, I seen this guy. I'm telling you, I seen a couple guys on YouTube bring out their more paperwork. And
But
the cops,
why do you have to file
and
with the
cops-
government though?
And the cops
Why
left.
do you have to file with the government to get your
Because
paperwork?
they said they wanted to awaken their people.
But you're already free, right? If you have a deal with Morocco, you're Moroccan supposedly. There's a deal with America. Why do you have to file paperwork with the white man?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Makes sense.
That's where I'm confused at.
So there was
Yeah, a little Freemason sign. Go ahead.
I got right here. There was a slave on the Lewis and Clark expedition, right? Before the expansion to the west, right? So Lewis and Clark had a slave named York, right? York's more spectacular contributions.
And York was a dark black skinned slave. Read.
York's most spectacular contributions with the Native American tribes the expedition came in contact with, whose assistance was sometimes very necessary. According to the journals of the expedition, York's blackness served as a passport with him. They were impressed by a strange creature. According to Richard Betts, he was the main attraction in the Lewis and Clark's traveling magic show. York was a sensation. The following excerpts are from the expedition's official report. October 9th, 1804, the object...
1804, so this is, what, 20 years after slavery started. Go ahead.
The object...
So black people are already here. These Native Americans should have been the same people, supposedly, right? Go ahead.
The object which appeared to astonish the Indians most was Captain Clark's servant slave, York, a remarkable stout, strong Negro.
Negro, read.
They had never seen a being of that color.
Native Americans never seen a dark-skinned black man before. 20 years after 1611. So where are the Moors at? Where were they? They were just on the East Coast? They were just in Florida or Oklahoma? Or
That's what I would like to know. Like, where
make it make sense.
who made it up and why do they have this running around with paperwork?
It's a story that they were told. It's a story. Do I think there was no dark-skinned people over here ever? No. Native Americans, the real Native Americans are dark-skinned as well. That brother, Katazarwan, that's a Native American right there, that brother. But that's another tribe, that's a Reubenite. Like what we would call a Seminole Indian.
Okay.
There's Seminole Indians that were in Florida, Georgia, then there's every other Native American tribe on any other states, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like our brother right here, he's native right here.
Yeah, this is a Native American brother.
I know you.
But a Moor would be like, oh, he's mixed with Asian or some stuff.
Yeah, they'll say
Why?
he's a Mongolian. That's what they push. This is the pseudo information that does indigenous erasure. This is
Okay, so that's
garbage.
that's why I was curious about them because the Inuits they look like what they would say Mongolians would.
And
Those are brothers. Those are our brothers. We got Inuits and also we got our Inuit brothers are on the other side too in Asia also.
Yeah.
But those are indigenous. Those are the same people that are brothers to our brothers in Alaska.
Well, a Native American lady told me that the reason why her people came out darker and red because they are mixed with black.
whose people?
What's her name? I'm
Somebody you
trying to
know
remember her
personally?
tribe. Yes. She said that because she's darker. She's darker.
Uh-huh.
She has dark red skin.
Yeah.
Her hair is a little bit wavy. She said that a lot of Native Americans were mixed with black at one
Of
point
course,
in time.
because when the slaves ran away, the Native Americans took him in. So that's maybe the confusion, like, oh, well, the original natives were black people. Like, well, no, when the slavery happened, the Native Americans already were here, and they weren't necessarily enslaved all the way either. So the slaves ran to the reservations, and they intermingled.
Yeah.
So that's
So,
what
I mean,
you're
look at
talking
this
about.
Native American right here. You know,
Which one?
this guy right here looks completely different. He looks like one of my grandpas.
I believe it. So I'm saying, though, like, we don't have a problem with saying there was dark-skinned Native Americans, but all of them?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, we know for a fact they showed pictures of, like, the ones in Virginia that were, like, black, and they had the pictures of that. Cool.
Then why is it impossible to believe that black people were not here before all the Europeans came over here?
I mean, but where's the proof of that? What they set up? Like, what do they have? What did they do? Like, what's their, where's the
But what's the
languages?
proof?
Where's the archaeology?
But what's the proof that they weren't?
Where's the writings at? But here's the thing.
They claim the Grand Canyon shows all the information.
Oh my God. I mean, Sister Nina, you're too smart for that.
What?
You're too smart for that.
Then what is the mystery behind why we can't see what's going on in there?
You have to ask them. They think there's pyramids in there. They think there's a portal from to Egypt or to Africa from
I know about a
Grand
portal.
Canyon. That's what people say that though. You can go into Grand Canyon and end up in Africa. How? There's 2 bodies of waters around it. That's ridiculous.
But why couldn't they have been over here?
Listen, here's the thing. I believe there was. Listen, give me what was your? Yeah, give me 1 Kings 10, because we already knew about this place. The Israelites did. The Jews.
Yeah.
But thousands of years ago, we were coming over here thousands of years ago.
So that they came over 1,000 years ago, then we was already
No, we
over
didn't
there,
stay
right?
over here. That's the thing. Our kingdom was over there. Why would we stay over here and our kingdom's over there?
You kidding me? One person want to stay?
Maybe. But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
I mean, it's not far fetched. It's always somebody.
Well, I'm not saying it didn't happen at one point in time. I'm saying they didn't settle here. They didn't build anything here. The Native Americans built the pyramids here. All the burial mounds are those people. The people, that guy right there, his people. All those Native Americans that look like him. Not no black people that think they're Native Americans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's Reubenites, like I said, that brother, there's pyramids in Georgia too. From his ancestors, the Seminole Indians,
Yeah.
the more darker Indians that never really got infiltrated for the most part. Give me that though, because we believe all those people are our people still, not the Olmecs. So we'll get to the Olmecs in a second. Go ahead.
This is Hosea chapter 7, verse 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people.
Ephraim is known as what? The representative of the Northern Kingdom. If you look at the sign, these 3 tribes are the Jews. Or who is that? Is that Judah, Benjamin, and Levi are the dark-skinned tribes, quote unquote. The rest of them are Ephraim, headed by the Puerto Ricans. That's the head of the Northern Kingdom. So they had already mixed with people way back in the ancient world.
Okay.
So that's why they're more light-skinned. They have wavy hair, like you referenced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also, our ancients didn't really put too much value in skin color. Like, that's crazy. You know when that happened? That happened during slavery.
Yeah.
This is when people started putting so much of importance in that. Our forefathers didn't care about that. It was always about lineages, who you descend from, right? Like the skin is this started with the caste systems. Like the Spaniards, what they did to us, they started with a caste system, right? Like I can show you the chart of it. Like if you're mixed, with an indigenous and a black person, they'll call it like a moroyo or something like that. They have a whole caste system, and this is why we're so color struck today. Our forefathers didn't care about skin color back then, man. What we cared about was our lineages. That's it.
That's right. But in reference to the whole Moorish doctrine, like we already read that when the white man came, they brought a black slave and brought him to the Native Americans 20 years after slavery, and they said they'd never seen a black man before. But they've been here for forever. But that doesn't make sense if this is what they're writing. And the Native Americans are astonished by this dark-skinned black person, looking at him like he's an alien. Like, what the hell am I looking at?
And those indigenous right there, they were not by the plantations. These were in the West, right? Because the Lewis and Clark expedition was going westward. Right, so this indigenous in the plains and everybody, this is the natives that came across this man York, right? And let me keep reading what it says. So, a remarkable stout Negro, strong Negro, they had never seen a being of that color. Therefore, they flocked around him to examine how extraordinary. By way of amusement, he told them that he had once been a wild animal and caught and tamed him by his master to convince them and show them feats of strength which added to his looks, right? They even called them big medicine. That was his nickname that the indigenous called York. Big medicine, right? Here.
That's it? Read that for me. Keep reading that, Hosea. Because the history lines up with what goes on in the Americas in future reference. Because if you believe the slave trade happened, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna prove that they already knew to come over here. Read.
This is Hosea chapter 7, verse 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people.
So the Northern Kingdom tribes mixed themselves among the people before they came over here. So they already had a distinct different look, read.
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
What's a cake not turned mean? Burnt on one side, light skin on the other side.
Yeah.
So they had a different look on amongst the Northern Kingdom. So of course it could be dark skinned natives, light skinned natives, extremely light. Like that brother would be considered a light skinned brother. You know what I mean? But obviously due to phenotype things like that.
Not turned. So does that mean light?
Yeah, light on one side, dark on the other side. Like you put a pancake in it, don't flip it. One side's gonna be way darker than the top side. You know what I mean? Where you at? Hey, give me 1 Kings 10. What's it called again? Yeah, 1 Kings 10 and 22. Go ahead.
1 Kings 10 and 22. For the king had a sea, and had at sea a navy.
This is Solomon. Solomon had a navy, all type of ships, right?
Of Tharshish, with the navy of Hiram.
Hiram is who? Canaanites, Africans, quote unquote Africans, right?
Once in 3 years came the navy of Tharshish, bringing gold and silver and ivory and apes and peacocks.
Once every 3 years, Solomon would send ships out to go get gold. So it took him 3 years, a year and a half one way, a year and a half back, right? That's the math. Give me that second Ezra. Where are you at? Give me
And this is going from where to where again?
This is from over there in the Middle East, Israel, to the Americas. We're gonna prove it right here. And what was you about to get? Give me the Chief Joseph Stone. Pull up that artifact and then go in my bag where we can get the book I want. The Ten Commandments. Go ahead. We're gonna show you the archaeology that proves that natives were Israelites, right?
2nd Ezra 13 and 40. These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king,
Read.
who Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria,
The king of Assyria, read.
led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, so they came into another land.
They went into slavery with the Assyrians, read. You can see this with the Lachish reliefs, the artifact over there in Assyria, read.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
They went to a country where never mankind dwelt. Where is that at? America. The Americas. Nobody lived over here. So the Moors saying that they were over here, even though this is our particular source, Moors go, well, I don't believe in the Bible.
Mixed.
What you mean?
I don't know. Like they could have been mixed.
But it says no man dwelt in this land.
Yeah.
So everybody, we all know, well, I'm going to say, we all know, but there's a term, what? The fourth part of the earth, the fifth part of the earth, the sixth part of the earth. All three parts, Asia, Africa, what else over there? Like Australia, things like that.
Yeah.
That was already inhabited, you know what I mean? And Europe, Europe. That was already inhabited already. What's the only place that wasn't inhabited that nobody really went to? The Americas. Go ahead.
That they might dare keep their statues, which they never kept in their own land.
So they were going to a land they never been to keep the commandments.
Yeah.
And we're going to prove it with this book. Read.
And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Read.
For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
So they went one way for a year and a half. So if we read 1 Kings 10, it said, what, it took them 3 years to go there and back, bringing back goods. But the Northern Kingdom went somewhere, it took them a year and a half, so they only went one way and never came back.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it's going into, read.
And that in the same region is called Arsareth.
Arsareth. Let's see what the scholars say what Arsareth is. Go ahead. This is where the Moors get tripped up because they don't have sources. Go ahead. Well, they think they have sources. Go ahead.
Arsareth. This is in Encyclopedia Judaica, which is a Jewish encyclopedia. The name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel would dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of restoration, according to 2nd Ezra 13 and 45.
Go ahead.
Columbus identified America with this land.
Who?
Columbus identified America with this land.
When did Columbus discover America, quote unquote? 92. But the Israelites were already here before that, right?
Yeah.
and Columbus read Second Ezra, we just read, the book they took out of the Bible that the Ethiopians have and we have. The Christian church don't have this book. They don't believe in the Apocrypha. That's what it's called. Second Ezra is in the Apocrypha. But the point is,
That's an Ethiopian Bible too, right?
it is.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, though, they're not Jews or Israelites, so it doesn't matter. They can have whatever they want. The point is, our people, the Northern Kingdom tribes, the Native Americans, the Hispanics, came over here before anybody lived here. Before the quote-unquote Moors, there were no Moors. Moors not even an ancient term. That's ridiculous. But, oh yeah, go back to that source. Did you finish that?
Yeah, it's finished.
Oh, so basically, like I said, Columbus identified Arsareth with America. But Arsareth was discovered because the Northern Kingdom left in 700 BC.
Yeah. Way before.
So 1492 is 2,100 years later. They were here way before anybody. So that just debunks that whole Moor nonsense from our perspective. They can bring information. I don't know what they would say, but they're trying to say that they were already here forever. Like, what did you guys build? There's no civilizations with Moorish information on it because they believe they're Muslim first and foremost. Right or wrong?
Right.
They follow Muslims. They follow Allah, and Allah wasn't even a thing until 600 AD. Right or wrong? Islam was not a thing as a religion until 600 AD. The Quran, Muhammad didn't exist till 600 AD. So where did the Quran come from? Listen, Muhammad's the last prophet. Muhammad was born in 600 AD. So how are Moors here when they believe in Islam? Islam wasn't even around when they claimed that they were a people group or whatever.
Okay. That makes sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Math not math.
Of course it doesn't. And they believe they're Moabites. You find Moabites in the Bible. But Moabites were made from incest. Are they incest babies? They're black. Of course not. It doesn't add up. They believe they're Canaanites and they're Moabites. But they follow Islam. What? Like, how? It just doesn't make sense. And that's why when I talked to that Moorish dude, he embarrassed himself. Because he don't know nothing. You think he knows something. He got that Fez hat on. And truthfully, if you study the history of the Fez, that's like from white people for real.
That was Turkish.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
That was Turkish, and mostly they made the slaves wear it.
Yeah, that was for slaves. So you gonna tell me that you were the original people of America, but your religion didn't start until thousands of years later? Over there in Saudi Arabia?
I'm definitely going to research it more. My brother's a Hebrew Israelite, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does he congregate with somebody?
Yeah, he is. He's affiliated, but he's more from the Yelling tribe.
Huh?
He's more from the Yelling tribe.
What do you mean?
Be yelling on the corner yelling.
That's what we're doing, technically.
You're not yelling, but you give me information though. That's why I can't.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
So you're already familiar with it.
Yeah. So I told him no.
How come you didn't ask him those questions?
Because I haven't got all the information yet.
What you mean?
I'm still learning and researching.
Oh, is this your first time really dialoguing with Israelite besides
I
him?
don't like getting yelled at.
Oh, you're not a younger sister. You're not a scoffer either, so you're not.
He yells
At you, still?
at everybody.
Just for no reason, just because?
No, he's passionate. He thinks that he's trying to save people.
I see what you're saying.
And if he's not doing it with thunder and lightning, then he's not doing the job.
Well, here, you got to know how to dial it back every now and then.
Sometimes he don't know how to do that.
But I wanted to touch on the last point about the Olmecs. Yeah, the Olmecs. Because we believe, well, actually, show her this real quick. Let's show the front page real quick. This is in New Mexico. The Ten Commandments on the side of a big cinder block, or side of a mountain per se.
In New Mexico?
New Mexico. The Ten Commandments in Paleo Hebrew. Where did this come from? Did the Moors write this? Of course not. The Native Americans wrote this.
Okay.
They were.
Wow.
That's why we read Second Ezra. They wanted to go to a further country where never mankind dwelt to keep the commandments they never kept.
Okay.
So they wrote the Ten Commandments down here. This is supposed to be a lost language. This is a lost Hebrew. This is ancient Hebrew.
Still there?
Of course it's there. Ratazia, show her the picture where you went to Los Uniston. He just went when this year, right? How long ago did you go?
I don't know,
Last year? He just went last year. He went there personally.
And it's verified that this is written way back when.
Of course, this
and
is a lost language. The Jews over there don't speak this language. This is before Babylon. Because, like I said before, the Aramaic started when? After Babylon, right? And the manuscripts of the Bible or the Old Testament aren't even written in this language. The manuscripts that we have today, the Hebrew manuscripts, aren't even written in the Paleo. It's written in the modern Assyrian block script Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? But obviously there's still artifacts of the Paleo Hebrew. Yeah, he went there last year.
This is it right here. It was facing the east too. The sun rose right.
Which is a commandment. You're supposed to face the east and pray to the Most High. That's a commandment, because that's how you know the Israelites were Native American and Hispanics. That's just plain. That's right there in New Mexico right now.
My brother lives out there.
Your brother lives in New Mexico? He's probably familiar with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna check him.
What camp is he in?
Oh, this my other brother's in the military, but yeah, he lives out there, so I'm gonna go check that out.
Oh yeah, it's all good. Yeah, he's sharp. He's sharp, sister.
What? Wow.
What'd you say?
I was saying the Paleo Hebrew is the Ten Commandments carved into the.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it shows on this book. And the book goes into how the Native Americans and Hispanics here were basically, obviously they had their quote-unquote deities, but it also ties back into the Bible, what they call Jesus, the Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. Because it calls him Quetzalcoatl or Kukulkan in this book, but it ties back into what the Hebrew calls the feathered serpent or the seraphim. And it says the seraphim forgives sins, which is a representation of Jesus, you know what I mean?
Wow. Okay,
It's all information. All right, you got a flyer, sister?
Huh?
You got a flyer?
I don't have a flyer.
Get his sister a flyer.
Wait.
Good shot. You got a. Yeah,
Thank
there's
you.
information all on YouTube, all that type of stuff.
Thank you
You
very
can find
much.
us debating the boys and all that too. We can debunk that nonsense. You know what I mean?